Call to order. Good evening. Welcome to the October 21st, 2020 Planning Commissioning meeting. Please note that this meeting is being attended by the Planning Commission and the applicant, both via teleconference and in person. We thank you for your patience as we navigate as city business through this new meeting process and acclimate to newly updated technology. For the benefit of the public, and as you require by the Brown Act, all voting will be by roll call. I will now call the meeting to order. Before we begin, I will ask Commissioner Owens to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please place your hand over your heart. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Owens. Can we take roll call?
Vice Chair Fermetta,
Present.
Commissioner Spathopoulos,
Present.
Commissioner Owens,
Present.
and Chair Duarte and Commissioner Dominguez are absent.
We'll take turns asking the commissioners have any announcements, agenda items, requests, or any meeting reports. Commissioner Owens.
None from me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Commissioner Spathopoulos.
None, thank you.
And I have none. Community Development Director Schindler, do we have any presentations?
Chairman Fermetta, no presentations tonight.
Thank you. Director Schindler, are there any city council actions to report?
Yes, we haven't met in a while, so just briefly over the last two meetings. At our last city council meeting on October 13th, the city council approved code changes to the way we process electrical vehicle charging systems. And that's in line with the state directive to generally make it easier for people to process electric vehicle charging stations. So we developed a checklist, shaved off a week or so from our application process to facilitate that process. Secondly, we looked into our code and combed it and found that we needed to upgrade our grading section of that code. One of the biggest improvements there is that when people add on to their single-family residences, as we're seeing people adding a lot of accessory dwelling units, additional grading code requirements are not required because you've got those requirements that have already been there for the original structure. And at the September 22nd meeting, the City Council considered the reopening of Downey Avenue. And after a thorough discussion and input from the community, the council decided to reopen Downey Avenue. As you may remember, it had been closed to help the businesses during our pandemic operate outside of their structures. It was closed for approximately 60 days, and you've probably seen that it's now reopened, and businesses are allowed to continue to operate outside their businesses in their parklets within the public right-of-way area that was previously used for parking. And that concludes my updates.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I could, Mr. Schindler, if I could ask just one question. Do you have any data about how successful that effort was in closing down that portion of Downey Avenue to serve, both the public and help those businesses?
We do. A lot of it's anecdotal, just in terms of what we saw visually and in discussions with the businesses. The businesses that were open, and there were only 3 of them, and so that was Lock and Key, Bastards, and Joseph's Bar and Grill. They were able to take advantage of that extra open space out in the street. So for them, it was successful. Our goal is to get any business within this community during this pandemic to operate at 100% occupancy. And we've done that through allowing outdoor operations of restaurants and non-restaurant businesses alike. The challenge with the closure of Downey Avenue was it was affecting a lot of the businesses to the south of that closure. in terms of traffic and inability for their patrons to park. And once again, in terms of the overall perspective, there were 3 businesses that were benefiting from the closure as opposed to all of the businesses in the downtown. So that led to the council wanting to reopen that as well to be able to help everyone. And what also aided in their decision is that the businesses within that closed area now can continue to operate with parklets as well.
Okay, and I had just a follow-up, if you wouldn't mind, on the parklets. I'm a big fan. So, do you see more parklets as build-outs, continue on Downey Avenue with the project, involving the old theater, as well as that project that's on the corner of a Second and Downey? The parklets are a good concept. So, do you envision more of that?
Yeah, we too are fans of it, so much so that we got a $10,000 grant program approved by council to help people pay for the parklets. And by grant, meaning there is no repayment of that. It's not a loan, it's free money. It's a grant to go to the parklet construction of new parklets or reconstruction of any parklets that had to be reduced regarding the reopening of Downey Avenue. We have seen that the other businesses on Downey Avenue are going to build parklets as well. Mambo Grill has an application in. The new restaurant at the former BRB site has an application in as well. That's the future Olas site. Epic Lounge and LA Buns also created a parklet off of 2nd Street near the corner of New and 2nd. We believe Peking China is going to come in for a parklet as well. And the sandwich shop in Carmen Bionicos, they're a business down towards 3rd Street. They're not going to do a parklet, but they don't have any outdoor dining, and they're going to pursue outdoor dining. So that's a better fit for them. So yeah, we are going to see some more in that downtown area.
And one other thing, it's just you got me thinking. Other parts of the city, although it's not the same, as the downtown Downey area, there could be some parklets considered in other parts of the city. Any other applicants from outside the Downey Avenue area contacted you in regards to that?
Yes, most definitely. Not so much parklets. Parklets, as we define them, are in the street public right-of-way, and that usually works best where you don't have higher velocity of vehicle traffic. But as you folks have probably noticed, there's outdoor dining in a majority of our restaurants. I personally ate today at Gaucho Grill, and they have an expansive outdoor dining area, as does Lazy Dog, El Pescador, and numerous restaurants within our city. So we've continued to support that activity to support our businesses.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the update. I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner Owens. Public hearing. Can we now move on to public hearing items? Before I open the public hearing, does the secretary have proof of publication?
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Director Schindler, can you introduce the staff person presenting this item?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Fermenta. Tonight we have Alfonso Hernandez, our senior planner, that will provide our presentation.
Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. Tonight you're being asked to consider a planned sign program at 8900 Imperial Highway and 12623 Lakewood Boulevard. The program will determine all the signs that will be installed at a new commercial center. The commercial center was presented to the Planning Commission on May 15, 2019. That project consists of the remodel of an existing 10,500 square foot building and the construction of a new 4,000 square foot Chick-fil-A restaurant. The applicant is Scott Silberberg. This is an aerial of the subject property outlined in red at the southwest corner of Imperial Highway and Lakewood Boulevard. This is the zoning for the area. The lot is zone C2 general commercial. To the north and east are C2 properties developed with various commercial uses. To the west is also a C2 zone property, but it is developed with both commercial and multifamily residential. The commercial use is located towards the front of the lot, closer to Imperial Highway, and there are 2 dwelling units to the rear. And to the south of the site are R3O zone properties developed with 8 townhomes. Here are photos of the site before construction. Here is an image of the site today. Construction is anticipated to be completed by the end of March 2021. Again, that's on March 2021. Currently, framing and structural renovations are underway for the retail building. Grading work has also taken place, and construction for Chick-fil-A has not begun yet. But building permits were issued last month, so we anticipate that'll be soon. And these are renderings of the future development. Here's a site plan of the center detailing the location of various proposed signs. To the top right is the Chick-fil-A building, and to the bottom left is the retail building. To the right of the retail building is a freestanding sign circled in red, closest to Lakewood Boulevard, and to the top left corner, closest to Imperial Highway, also circled in red, is a monument sign. The site plan also details location of various directional signage. Here's a closer view of the retail building. The bold red lines indicate locations of wall signs. A maximum of 8 signs can be provided. Each tenant space is allowed 1 sign, with the exception of the right corner tenant, which is allowed a secondary sign because it has 2 street frontages. It faces both Imperial Highway and Lakewood Boulevard. Here are the north and east elevations of the retail building, showing the location of the wall signs in relation to the scale of the building. Here is a closer view of the Chick-fil-A building. The restaurant will be allowed 3 wall signs, 2 primary wall signs facing each street, and a small secondary sign facing the parking lot. The sign to the top faces Imperial Highway, the sign to the right faces Lakewood, and the sign to the left will face a parking lot. Here are the east and west elevations depicting the location of each sign in relation to the scale of the building. And here is the north elevation. The size of the wall signs are allowed to be a total of 1.5 square feet per every linear foot of tenant frontage. A maximum grand total of 477 square feet is proposed amongst all tenants. The maximum height is 36 inches, and the width of each sign may only extend 75% of the width of the tenant space, and all lighting must be internally illuminated. And the images depicted is what we hope the signs will look like per this program. Also proposed is a monument sign. This is located closest to Imperial Highway driveway entrance at the northwest corner of the center. The monument sign can display 5 tenants on each side and is 8 feet tall and 7.5 feet wide, with a total sign area of 31.5 square feet. The materials will be aluminum and brick veneer. The aluminum will be painted to complement the colors of the building in the commercial center, and the brick veneer will be the same material used for the brick veneer on the buildings. A freestanding sign is located or proposed closest to the driveway entrance on Lakewood Boulevard at the southeast corner of the center. The sign can display up to 7 tenants on each side and is 14 feet tall and 7 feet wide. This total sign area is 59.5 square feet. The materials, like the ones for the monument sign, will be aluminum and brick veneer. The aluminum, again, will be painted to complement the colors of the buildings in the commercial center, and the brick veneer will be the same material used for the building's brick veneer. In conclusion, it is staff's opinion that all findings can be made in a positive manner. And with that, I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now take turns asking each commissioner as he has questions for staff. Commissioner Owens?
I have none, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Alfonso.
Commissioner Spitopoulos?
Mr. Chair, if we can remind, thank you, to unmute.
Sorry about that. No questions for now. Great presentation. Thank you.
And I have no questions. Thank you for your presentation. Before we begin the public hearing, I would like to remind members of the public participating telephonically that the city meeting rules contains in the Downey Municipal Code prohibits any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker shall have 3 minutes to address the commission. Members of the public wishing to address the Planning Commission regarding the public hearing for item PLN-20-00104 may now call or teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the records and no further public comments via teleconference will be permitted. For those present in the council chambers, your comments will be taken after phones and email comments are provided. I will now open the public hearing. It will start by inviting the applicant to address the commission. Can the applicant unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, guys. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for missing the Dodger game for this. Alfonso, thanks for the presentation. I think as most of you are aware, our development is underway. We're moving along nicely. We are anticipating delivery to Chick-fil-A, their parcel in the next 2 weeks. As part of that process, signage is obviously a critical piece of a retail shopping center. We spent a few months working with ADS as well as the planning staff to what we feel was design a sign program that complemented the center, not just on the aesthetics of the building, but also on the monument and freestanding. Our world, in the retail world, signage is critical for our tenant success. Obviously in today's market with things like COVID, having more visibility and advertising opportunities important. Again, we spent a lot of time trying to maximize, but also stay within, the allowable signage for the Downey Municipal Code to allow that for our tenants. And it was also important for us to aesthetically make it appeasing to that corner. It's a very important corner in the city. And, we're proud of what we've done so far and looking forward to getting this project wrapped up. We're probably 6 months from finalizing, hopefully sooner than that. We're looking at probably mid to late March finishing of this project and Chick-fil-A opening and getting the other 10,000 square foot building ready to occupy.
Thank you. Does any of the planning commissioner have questions for the applicant? Commissioner Owens?
So I have a question not related to the item. I'm just curious. Find any historic artifacts in your dig out there at that site? That corner sat like that for a long time.
Well, we did find a water line that no one knew about. We were able to get rid of it and cap it off. But no, actually, the dirt, more sand was very easy to work with. My contractor was very excited about how easy it was to get through on our grading process. Not a lot of rocks, surprisingly.
You'll dig all day long. No rocks in Downey dirt.
I love it. Well, it made it easier for us on the grading process for sure.
Awesome, thank you. I think what you're presenting tonight is appropriate and fine. So that's my comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Commissioner Spatopoulos?
Great presentation. The package looks good. Have you secured any other tenants there? You at liberty to discuss or tell us who else is going in there at this point?
We haven't signed any leases. We do have some interest. Obviously, COVID, the last 6 months have been very challenging for the leasing market, in particular in the smaller, strip buildings. I've got 3 developments currently going on around LA County and the Inland Empire, and things slow down in the smaller shop space world. We are seeing it pick back up again. Obviously in California, there was some significant shutdown, as you guys are aware. So I don't have any signed leases, and so there isn't anything to share in that category. However, there's a ton of interest on it. Everybody seems to be extremely excited about that corner being developed. Obviously, we consider it to be one of the most important corners in Downey. Obviously, one of the highest trafficked. So, I'm not concerned about it. The types of tenants, service, retail, potentially some medical, small medical, but, we can't do any more food. So that's what we've been targeting. We did have before COVID, we did have some local groups. We had Downey Federal Credit Union who had interest. They ended up pulling out, unfortunately, for another store in Downey. And since then, we've it's been a little bit slower because of COVID.
Very good. I don't think you'll have any problem at all.
I don't either.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy Spatopoulos. I have no questions. I just want to say thank you for beautifying that corner. It really needed a big makeover, and thank you for investing in our city.
We're a big fan of Downey.
Thank you. Do we have any public?
There are no calls for public comment, nor email correspondence.
Thank you. Secretary Kavanaugh, may I have the first speaker? Oh, nope. Sorry, we have none. Secretary. We will now invite those present in the City Council chamber to speak at the podium. We will now close. Seeing none, we will now close public hearing. We now can begin deliberation, and I will take turns asking the commissioner if he has comments. Commissioner Owens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I just would echo the comment I made earlier to the applicant. It's good. It's a good concept, good project. Good upgrade with the signage. The signage will fit certainly that site, and I'm all in favor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Spatopoulos.
No questions, just good. It looks good. Good luck. Great plans. Good images. That's all.
Thank you very much.
And I echo Commissioner Owens and Spatopoulos. Thank you for beautifying that corner, and wish you the best. Thank you.
Looking forward to doing more Downey, guys.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Secretary Kavanaugh, may you please take a roll call vote?
Vice Chair Fermetta,
Aye.
Commissioner Spatopoulos,
Aye.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
Chair Duarte, and Commissioner Dominguez are absent. It was moved by Commissioner Spatopoulos and seconded by Commissioner Owens and passed by a vote of 3 in favor and 2 absent, thereby approving Resolution 20-3129 for a plan sign program, PLN 20-00104.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
Before we begin to the non-agenda public comment period, I would like to remind the members of the public participating telephonically that the city meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibits any conduct that disturbs, disrupts, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker shall have 3 minutes to address the commission on issues that are within the commission's jurisdiction. Member of the public wishing to address the Planning Commission regarding non-agenda public comments only may now call teleconference line 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the records and no further public comments via teleconference will be permitted. For those present in the council chambers, your comments will be taken after phones and email comments are provided. Secretary Kavanaugh, may I have the first speaker on the phone?
There are no calls for public comments.
Secretary Kavanaugh, do we have any written public comments of non-agenda items to be read into the record?
No written public comments. Thank you.
We will now invite those present in the City Council chamber to speak at the podium. Seeing none, we will close the non-agenda public comment. Before we begin the consent calendar comment period, I would like to again remind members of the public participating telephonically that the city meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibits any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker shall have 3 minutes to address the commission to consent calendar items. Member of the public wishing to address the Planning Commission regarding consent calendar items only may now call or our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who are submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the records and no further public comments via teleconference will be permitted. For those present in the council chambers, your comments will be taken after phones and email comments are provided. Secretary Kavanaugh, may I have the first speaker on the phone?
There are no calls for public comment.
Thank you. Secretary Kavanaugh, do we have any written public comments on consent calendar to be read into the record?
There are no written correspondence for the consent calendar.
Thank you. We will now invite those present in the City Council chamber to speak at the podium. Seeing none, we will now close the consent calendar public comment. I will now take turns asking the commission if he has questions or comments of any consent calendar items. Commissioner Owens?
No, Mr. Chair, but I would motion to approve the consent calendar item.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay,
Thank you. Can we have a roll call?
thank you. Vice Chair Fermetta,
Aye.
Commissioner Spathopoulos,
Aye.
Commissioner Owens,
Aye.
and Chair Duarte and Commissioner Dominguez are absent. The motion passes with 3 in favor and 2 absent. Moved by Commissioner Owens, seconded by Commissioner Spathopoulos to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you. Director Schindler, do you have any staff comments?
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair Fermetta. The staff recently received approval from the City Council to get our Federal CARES Act money out to our community. So we issued $750,000 in the form of $25,000 business grants, and that will be marketed within the next couple of days for our business community that have suffered due to the pandemic. We are also adding an additional $250,000 to our residential rent payment program. We had previously allocated $700,000. We've got a grand total of $950,000 allocated to help people pay their rent, also that are affected by the pandemic. And in this round, we were also able to fund some social service agencies to provide assistance to those hardest hit from the pandemic and our homeless community as well. And that concludes my update.
Thank you. We will now adjourn this meeting to Wednesday, November 4th, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. at Downey City Hall.